My ex thinks hurt my daughter and now harasses me since I stole his baby girl. He is not my daughter's birth father. I never really posted, only lurked. So please forgive spelling/syntax errors. I'm sorry for the long post, but this is a long story. I, 27F, am a widow. My husband Mike died when I was 20 from complications from a cancer-related surgery. He was 24. Our daughter, Sammy, was only 6 months when he died. She's 7 years old now. He died literally 2 days after my birthday. It broke me. I drank heavily when my daughter stayed with either set of grandparents. I never got into drugs, but I did consider it. I had anger issues, which thankfully never exploded around her, but my parents and sister got the brunt. I lost jobs and broke friendships. I was not a capable mother. My parents finally had enough and put me into therapy and rehab. It was a forced program, or else they were planning to sue for my daughter's custody. With how I was then, they would have one. And through therapy and a lot of help from my family, I began to work things out. I won't say I'm perfect, but I became a good mother and provider. Mike's parents gifted me their house, 4 bedrooms, since they were moving to an assisted living facility, which meant so much since it still had Mike's room as he left it before we got married. My sister moved in to help me make the bills, and I went back to school while working part-time. She works from home and offered to take care of Sammy while I had classes and work. I'm actually 1 year out from finishing my degree and have a job lined up in the same company as her. In college, when I was 24, I met a master's student named Andrew, M29. He was nice and offered to tutor me in some classes that were not my best. I hate math, go figure. I will skip the small stuff. But eventually we started dating. I was open from day one that I was a widow, recovering alcoholic, and had a daughter that will always be my first priority. Andrew was keen, he understood, and couldn't wait to meet my Sammy. This was when Sammy was only 4, so I decided to play safe and wait until Andrew and I were serious before introductions. After 5 months, I introduced them. Andrew was incredible with my daughter. He took her camping, played games with her, helped with homework, etc. He was without doubts a model father. At first, about 1.5 years ago, Andrew went to visit a friend of his in Ohio. I don't know what their situation is, but his friend has a very outdated view on women. As in, women are only meant for having children, taking care of the house and their husband, and obeying their husbands like they are God himself. Needless to say, I wasn't thrilled, but he was a friend from before we got together. So I figured if it never changed Andrew in the past, I had nothing to worry. When Andrew came back, nothing seemed out of the usual. He was still loving, and when I asked him if he could watch Sammy for an afternoon while I drove my sister in and back from a medical procedure, he was happy to help. My sister and I returned to find him sitting on the couch drinking a beer, with Sammy crying on the floor with a horrible burn on her hand. I screamed as I went to check my daughter, asking Andrew what had happened, and why wasn't he tending to Sammy's injury or taking her to the hospital. He shrugged and said, "I told her to make me dinner. It's not my fault you failed to teach your brat to be a proper woman." I was stunned at first, but my daughter was first. I picked my daughter without a word while hearing Andrew saying things like, "You know I'm right, babe, and I didn't say you could leave." This is a lesson for her. The car ride was mostly my sister comforting my daughter since I had to drive, and one sentence in Italian, a language we both learn as children, but I didn't teach my daughter. "You need to leave that man tonight." My daughter was seen almost immediately when we arrived to the ER after they saw her burn. It was a second-degree burn on her hand with minor first-degree on her legs. Her pants sort of protected her. I was exhausted, and by the end of the night, I just wanted to drop in bed after breaking everything in my room. I left Sammy with my parents, after telling them the story, and went back to the house with my sister. Andrew was still on the couch, with 3 bottles of empty beer and 1 half drunk. He didn't even stand up when we arrived. All he said was, "Did you come back to your senses already?" I told him to leave, and if he didn't, I would call the police. He replied as my man, he owed my property. I was about to lose it when my sister did first. She took a broom, and like one of those old cartoons, just began hitting him. Once she got him out the back door, she closed and locked it, then told me to call the cops. After they arrived and checked driver's licenses, they removed him. The fallout of that hospital visit was a CPS investigation. The stress alone almost drove me to drinking again, but my sister kept me together. Andrew was arrested and given what was basically a slap on the wrist. Not a single day of jail time. We tried to move on. I haven't dated since. It's been a little over a year since I broke up with Andrew, but I just don't want to risk things again. Sammy has also gone to therapy, and we've done some mom, aunt, daughter cooking sessions just to teach her kitchen safety. Andrew has been harassing us online. He's now been posting in social media that I stole his one and only baby girl. He claims he was closer to Sammy than even I was, and that she was like his true daughter, that I was jealous and petty. A cheater. An abusive mother and spouse. We never married. He even said he suspects I might have had a helping hand in my husband's illness. Some people in social media agree with him based only on his stories. No one we both know, only people that are strangers or that never met me. He's even been posting old edited pictures of outings with Sammy, cropping me off them. CPS has also been called on me multiple times. From accusations of abuse to saying I was keeping my daughter around dangerous people. Even one about a weapon with easy access. I have a locked gun cabinet with hunting rifles that has an electronic lock. Only my sister and I have the combination, and it's in the attic, which Sammy can't reach since the trapdoor is too high for her to open. I also have a personal gun that I keep in my room, also under lock with a combination that I am the only one that knows. I've never let my daughter see or know where it is, but unless I'm raising a future gymnast mix with Sherlock Holmes, she won't find it even if she know I had it. CPS has already got to the point they dismiss any calls against me or my sister. And the cops won't do anything since CPS reports are anonymous and Andrew hasn't technically done anything directly aside social media. He doesn't name in public posts. Only says his ex. But the amount of PMs I get makes it clear he names me in private. It's stressful and it's making me paranoid. I feel watched at times, and I'm scared of being alone at night. Who knows if he shared my address? The cops won't take me serious. And I think Sammy is picking up on my stress. Next week I'm meeting a lawyer to see what my options are. P.S. I know the title has an error. I noticed after I posted and don't know how to correct it. I'm stress writing in English as my third language.